Hello and welcome. Today we are going to discuss this topic cloudburst and we are going to link it with UPSC syllabus. We are going to see that how prelims question can be framed from this area. IMD's definition can be asked as one of the statement in prelims question. Where all these cloudburst events are happening, this can be one of the question. Whether these cloudburst events are linked to orographic rainfall, this can be one of the question. So from climatology perspective, there is huge chances of framing a question from related to cloudburst because in recent times frequent cloudbursts are happening in different parts of Himalayan region. Also from mains perspective, if we see this topic, then from disaster management perspective, from climate change perspective, from this climatology perspective, this can be linked with rainfall also. So there is huge possibility of interlinkages as far as this cloudburst topic is concerned. So we are going to see this topic in detail in this video. And this happened in Shrikhand Kailash region, in Kullu region, and around 55 people died in this region, around 100 people are missing. Lots of destruction of property happened because of this cloudburst. So what happened as far as this disaster is concerned, the rivulet, the local rivulet that was flowing through this region, it swelled by 35 to 45 meter in height and by 180 meter in width. So you can imagine the expense of flood that happened in a very short period of time, which led to this disaster, which because of which the people of this region were not prepared. So if we see the normal definition, if we have to write in normal sentence, then we can write that intense rainfall happening in a small area can be considered as cloudburst. But how IMD defines cloudburst? IMD defines that if 10 centimeter of rainfall happens in 1 hour in 10 square kilometer area, then that will be considered as cloudburst. Now what happens if 5 centimeter of rainfall happens in 5 square kilometer area in half an hour? Will that be considered as cloudburst? So according to IMD, that will also be considered as cloudburst. So this is basically a ratio kind of scenario that this phenomenon is known as cloudburst. Now if we have to compare this cloudburst with average annual rainfall, suppose the average annual rainfall in normal year is 116 centimeter, right? Now suppose in any area 116 centimeter of rainfall happens annually in normal year, but during cloudburst event what is happening? 10% of annual rainfall is happening in 1 hour. In 1 hour. So you can imagine the intensity of rainfall that is happening in 1 hour, that 10% of the annual rainfall is happening in 1 hour. What happened in July 2005 in Mumbai? Around 96 centimeter of rainfall happened in 24 hours span, and because of this around 400 people died, and there was a loss of around $1 billion property associated with it. So if we have to compare the scenarios, then it is becoming very frequent disaster, especially in mountainous region, especially in Himalayan region. Though the Mumbai's rainfall was not cloudburst, but the similar scenario was there. So let us understand the phenomena of cloudburst, how it happens. This is basically a orographic rainfall, orographic lifting happens, and because of which cloudburst happens. Now this water is getting warmed up. It starts rising with the help of the wind. This is windward side of the mountain. This is leeward side of the mountain. Now in the windward side of the mountain, the air is strong. It is lifting the water particles from the corresponding lake region or river region. Now this water rises up and it condenses. Condensation happens at a height. Now naturally, normally there should be precipitation after condensation, but because of the presence of this strong wind, it further rises up and the water gets accumulated and this cloud gets bigger and bigger. So there is lot of water moisture or water particle present in the cloud, but precipitation is not happening. Cloud is getting heavy. Once this strong winds weakens, this wind become weak, then precipitation or downpour happens in a very short span of time in very high intensity, that is the cloudburst. Now you can imagine that the windward side of the area, suppose this area is 10 square kilometer area, this slope is of 10 square kilometer, intense rainfall is happening. Imagine what will happen to the slope. There will be landslide, there will be flood, there will be GLOF. If suppose GLOF is basically glacial lake outburst flood, because of the cloudburst event, these kind of GLOFs happened. Can we prepare for this kind of cloudburst? Theoretically we can, practically it is kind of impossible to prepare for the cloudburst, because how IMD normally defines the normal year or the average annual rainfall in an year is through the stations that are present in different locations. They consider the moisture level and the water vapor present in the area. They send the weather balloons. That is how IMD decides what will be the normal year or what will be the amount of rainfall that is going to happen in a year. So no departments can, meteorological departments can predict cloudburst event because of the technological challenges. Theoretically we can, but because of the present technological challenges across the world, we cannot predict the cloudburst event. So as far as preparedness is concerned, related to this cloudburst disaster, then we have to stabilize the slopes, we have to form different artificial channels as far as river morphology is concerned, so that the excess water that is happening because of this rainfall can be diverted. These kinds of preventable measures we can take, otherwise the extent of disaster or the localized nature is such that we have to depend on the response teams or response side of the disaster management. So this is the basics of cloudbursts. Thank you.